Editing magic. And that was our orange juice commercial. Have I ever told you that I used to be in high school? Yeah, there was a time many, many eons ago, like the late 80s and early 90s, that I was in high school and I hated it. I don't know why. She swallowed the fly. I think she'll die. But yeah, I didn't like it. I was the poster child for the bullies or being bullied. I got shoved in lockers, chased through schools. I mean, I was abused. I was an abused punk rock kid. I was. And if you want to hear that story, I know this isn't a normal show for or story for this channel, but maybe we can do a subsection of this channel. But if you want to hear the story, tell me. But I was abused. I was one of those kids that got picked on. But there was a silver lining in my high school career. And that's pretty much what it was, the 10 years I was. Anyways, there was one silver lining. Video editing class. And I enjoyed it. Because, one, I got to express who I was. I got to use equipment that I would never, ever have a chance to use. And there was this wonderful thing that came through our high school. In fact, it was through all the high schools of the time period. There was some orange juice company that wanted to get some ideas from the youth of America. So they put a shout out and said, hey, we want your high school, all the high schools, to come up with an orange juice idea. Film a commercial and we'll use that idea in a national commercial. And I was like, awesome, this is my way to shine. So we got together and came up with some concepts. And of course, everybody came up with the normal concepts, family around the breakfast table, coming in, get the orange juice, the whole happy peachy crap. But not me, not me. I had to stand out. So my idea was this. We would be like on a building and somebody was about to jump and then somebody comes up with orange juice and says, here, get the orange juice, and it would save a person's life. But of course, it wasn't accepted. It was not accepted. Something about this could lead kids into committing suicide, jumping off buildings. I was like, no, orange juice will save their life. As I spit, telling the story. So they didn't accept it. And as you can tell, I'm holding on to that. So we here today are going to remedy that. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. As I said, in my video editing class, I had a chance to shine, but no, they just didn't want to accept or appreciate what the young punk rock visionary had in store. So I held on to it. I held on to that dream of making an orange juice commercial for that school, for that orange juice campaign to be something in my life. But no, they didn't want it, no. But you know what? Today we are going to change that. We're gonna recreate that vision of mine using a camera from that time period. That's right. We're going to use this Canon. Here we go. Let me get it in spot. This Canon XL. This XL Canon. That's right. It's a mini DVD camera. That's right. This thing came out in 1997 or 8 with an MSRP of roughly, I would say, $4,700. But right now on the used market, you can get this bad boy for under $200, for $150. And we'll talk about that in another video. But yes, this camera right here, I don't know the very good specs of it. I just wanted to use this camera and show it off because this is a camera that I have dreamed about for 30 odd years. And it's here now it's here now in my hands. But before we get into the video that I'm going to make, because I'm going to make that, I'm going to recreate that orange juice commercial with this very camera. But let's take a quick peek around this camera and let you guys see what it's all about, because it's a beautiful piece of machinery. So, what do we got going on? Because right now we are just going to show you what we got going on. We're going to take a walk through it, take a walk around, you know, light the tires and kick the fires. Because isn't that what the salespeople say today? Because I'm not trying to sell you on it other than how much I love these cameras. Because these cameras are pretty much awesome for what they are. Because I mean, again, 30 years old, it's 30 years old. But hey, I'm showing you now because I want you to feel the love of this camera right here. So starting right here, we have the lens, this bad A lens. It is a beautiful lens, especially for what it does for this camera. It is a Canon video lens, 16 times zoom XL, 5.5 millimeter to 88 millimeters. And when you're making short films and videos and movies and porn, and just short films for yourself and your family and loved ones, that's an awesome lens. It has the zoom, it has the focus, and not only that, you don't have to focus on your own because down here it has autofocus or manual. It has a push to focus, just a push to autofocus if you just got to get something in there really quick. Over here also we have the neutral density filter, the ND filter. It only has one. But I mean, this was 30 years ago. It's, what that is. And stabilization, because Lord knows you got to have stabilization, especially when everybody's doing the realistic video thingy-mabobber, and it's like freaking, hey, they need to stop it. But what's neat about these lenses, video lenses or cinematic lenses versus an actual photography lens, is it's smooth. It's not rough, like, some women. Because some women like it rough. Some women just want to get down and naughty. But this one, it's not rough, it's smooth. It just glides like butter. It just glides like butter. You gotta have the butter. So anyways, so it's not rough. It glides like butter. So that's the difference, okay? And when you're making films and making movies, you want to have that smooth, buttery feel. All right, buttery feel. And in fact, when it comes to filmmaking, they actually have attachments that you can have a crank dial, or not a crank, but a dial that goes along with the lenses and the cameras. So you should check it out if you're going to make films and stuff, right? You should just make the films to do the film thing and stuff. Now let's move on past the lens, right, guys. I just screwed up, so we're trying to edit this. So we're moving on from the lens. And so what do we got here? Next, we're gonna go to this right here. These little buttons right here. You've got the record search, the EV display, and the effects on off. Down here we do have a shutter button right there. And then on here we have the iris wheel. And above the iris wheel we have the exposure lock and the lens release. It's not that big of a deal. Down here, guys, if you can see down here, we do have the white balance. We do also have the white balance and the gain right there. And check this out, watch this. Woo, comes in, it goes in and out, in and out. Oh, like your belly button, in and out there, folks. Now, what if you want to change the settings in this camera? What if you want to just, scroll around with the features? Well, I've got you covered. The menu. That's right, guys. Up here, where's it at? There it is. The menu button. Down here, you have to select the part that you want it on. And then right in here, oh, what is that? That's the up and down thing. So up and down, right? Goes up and down through the menu to find exact features that you want. But what if, see, and when you turn it on, check this out before we go. Look at that. Now, that screen right there, that might be a little bit tight where you can't see. So you know what? You are dark. So you know what? Hit the light button. That's right. You've got a light. You have a light so where you can see. And there's a top button up there. There's a top screen there. You know what the screen's for? It's for the audio. That's right. It goes back and forth to tell you where your audio's at. So this means you can monitor your audio. Now, over here, this is your jog wheel, right? This is your jog wheel. So you can put a monitor, a manual, automatic, off, however you want to set it. But if you go the opposite way, you got the VCR mode where you can watch your videos that are recorded onto one of these tapes right here. And hey, we'll get back to that in a minute. So then we'll just throw that to the side. But anyways, now what if you need to hear, we mentioned the audio screen right here. We mentioned the audio screen, right? Well, check this out. Check this beautiful thing out. Bam. That's your audio. You got your main volume that controls both of them at the same time. You've got your balance to kind of shift it to one side or the other. But if that's not enough, you have your double audio thing right here, one for left, one for right, boom. And then all sorts of other little controls. Now, what do I love about this? Boom. Oh yeah, mama. You can't touch any controls because it is blocked. It is blocked. But what's on the other side? What's in the box? What's on the other side? Over here, you've got the tape. That's right. These things again. That's what it records on. Mini DVDs. That's what it got. And then over here, you got your battery. I have this neat battery. It has a battery scale on it. You can charge this with USB ports and all that stuff. But anyways, there's my battery for this thing. What else we got over here? Oh, and over here, we have the zoom in and zoom out button. Then over here, we have a record button, if you can see that. And then on top, we got a photo button. And I'm not sure. I think that's for productions. So if you're got to record, you want to take a picture to say, hey, look, we got this position. And you can keep the images and keep on. And that's rambling. So we're going to move on to the next thing. Now, where were we at? Sound, right? So we're talking about the sound. So this over here controls your sound, right? To control the onboard mic. But what if the onboard mic isn't enough for you and you want some better sound? That's where this comes in handy. This you can get on eBay for like 20 bucks, and this takes the place of this right here. That's right. So you take this, there you go. You take this off and replace it with this. And what is this? It's a shoulder rest, right? So record like that. I love that shoulder piece. But anyways, you take that shoulder piece, add that, hook that up to the sound, which is going to go back here, and I'll talk about that in just a second. And then you can put your microphone jacks in there and actually have a good microphone or whatever you want. And I don't personally like it because it's left and right. You don't have really control to make it one that I know of now, which it could, and I would like it, but I actually like this armrest better. So, but that is just a quick attachment to the whole feature, to the overall of this wonderful piece of machinery. Now, I'm running out of breath. So anyways, and then right here, before we get into this, right here, guys, what you have here is a headphone jack. So if you want to plug in and listen to what you're recording, you got all that all day long. Now, up here, this is about to get to this, but this up here is your VCR control. So when you want to play back and see what you're doing, you just have to, there's your VCR, put in VCR and, start playing, start push to play, record. Yeah, it's got a record button, push, play, fast forward, reverse, all that right there and then. And where do you view that? Well, you view it on this nice spec screen, tiny little screen. That's it. It's tiny. But what if that's not enough? What if you need more viewing room? Well, that's when you add this right here. So what you would do is add it to the cold shoe mount, this monitor right here. This is a 7-inch monitor from a company called what is it called here? Port Keys. Port Keys, guys, Port Keys. So you just attach to the cold shoe mount, right? This is a battery charged, this is a battery powered one, which is what you really, really want. Yes, you really, really want it. And then what you do is you plug in the yellow to the yellow, the white to the white, and then turn that on and turn this on. And let's see if it comes on. And guess what? Viewing for your pleasure. Let's see if we can get it. There it is. There it is. And guess what? We have... Oh, wait a minute. You can't see that, can you? All right. Well, there you go. There's the pumpkin. Let's see if we can go over to get the skeleton. Oh, there. That's me. Ah, you can't. There you go. Hello, guys. There you go. See? Ha-ha. So anyways, and that's how you would hook up a monitor for your viewing pleasure. So there, you guess what? There you have a full-on rig to make a movie. Now, you might be asking yourself, my friends, let's unplug this, if and when you record your movie, because if I'm showing you this and you're watching this, you better learn to record some movies, right? You better record some movies. But how do you get your movies from the mini DVD tape to your computer? Well, that's when you got this right here. You got this right here. See, you've got the same 3 jacks as you do on the back of here. Well, basically, you basically hook these up to here, and then it will transfer the images from your tape. Or you can actually record straight to this, but it'll record the images straight to this, and then you can transfer those files to a USB port or micro SD card. And that is how you would that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to tell you. If I'm missing some, you got to let me know. But that's how you would do it. That's how you would make a video on this and transfer. But anyways, that was a little walk around with it. Again, I'm not, there's better reviews out there, more into it. But right now, you know what we're going to do? Let's go make a movie. So, orange juice commercial. Here we come. What you doing? Nothing. Doesn't look like nothing. Well, I was thinking about jumping. Now, why do you want to go do something like that? I got orange juice. Orange juice? Really? All right. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Oh, yeah. Come on. Yes. All right, man, here you go.